A pleasant day to each and everyone. I'm Romel Cañete, and for today I'm going to continue the discussion, and I was assigned on the topic which entitled Key Features of Science and Technology in Modern Societies. So our societies are dominated and even driven by ideas and products from science and technology. It is likely that the influence of science and technology on our lives will continue to increase in the years to come. So, alright, for example, the cell phone. Before the cell phone, there are no touch screens, and since science and technology kanang ni-involve na siya or through the years kanang ni-evolve is karon nanatay kanang mga nanatay touchscreen and nanatay mga high-techs nga cellphone such as kanang mga iPhone or kanang Huawei, di ba? So, in the following years pa jud, daghan pa ta og ma-feel and ma-gamit through the science and technology sa ato ang kinabuhi. Science and technological knowledge, skills, and artifacts invade all realms in our modern society. The workplace and the public sphere is increasingly dependent on new as well as the more established technologies. So for example, ani sa atong healthcare. So the public or the Department of Health really depends on new technologies, especially kanang new equipment nga since we were since we were in the pandemic, so our Department of Health a lack of new technologies or equipment, so they really rely on new equipment or new technologies that can detect for example the COVID, so the many variants of COVID. So without the science and technology, it is really hard for them to identify what types of virus it is. So are also the private sphere and our leisure time. Knowledge and skills in science and technology are crucial for most of our actions and decisions as workers, as voters, as consumers. Meaningful and independent participation in modern democracies assume an ability to judge evidence and arguments in the many socio-scientific issues that are on the political agenda. So science is a systematic enterprise that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanation and predictions about the universe. So mauni kanang without the science or without science kanang we cannot for example without science dili ta maka-predict of our weather in the following days, months to come. So through science we were able to identify if there's gonna be a rain or there's gonna be a El Nino or La Nina in the following months or years. So science is that is what we call science is everywhere, or science is that is what we call science is everywhere. In short, modern societies need people with science and technology qualifications at the top level as well as general public with broad understanding of science and technology contents, methods, and as a social force shaping the future. Science and technology are major cultural products of human history. All citizens, independent on occupational needs, that need to be acquainted with this part of human culture. So science and technology are important for economical well-being, but also seen from the perspective of broadly based liberal education. So One might expect that the increasing significance of science and technology should be accompanied with a parallel growth in the interest in these subjects, as well as increasing understanding of basic scientific ideas and ways of thinking. The evidence for such claims are in part based on the hard facts, educational statistics. The evidence for such claims are based on hard facts, such as educational statistics, in part on large comparative studies and in part based on research and analysis of trends in our societies. The situation is described briefly and analyzed in the following. So, the challenges and perspectives. Falling enrollment, increasing gender gap. The recruitment to science and technology studies is falling, or at least not developing as fast as expected or planned for. This lack of interest in science often manifests itself at school level at the age where curricular choices are made. So, we all know that science and technology is very crucial for us or has a significant role in our lives. So, and and science and technology students are or kanang gamay ra ang mga nag-enroll for these kinds of subjects. For example, in computer engineering or any science and technology sub courses. So since science and technology courses are very significant for us, the interest of new or young people to enroll in these courses are not really developing, or wala kayo siya mo increase as expected, that technology is fastly growing. So kanang imbes hinuon kay nagka-anam na ta og ka high tech, gamay na dili na hinuon kaayo daghan ang nang-enroll sa in this kind of field. In many countries, there is noticeable decrease in the numbers of students choosing the science. This trend is further enlarged in the enrollment of tertiary education. This trend is in the numbers of students choosing the sciences. A similar trend occurs in some areas of engineering and technology studies. So, maono, gamay ra jud ang nang enroll in this in the science and technology courses or kanang studies, because for now the trend is in the engineering or in the engineering sector and the tourism sector. However, be noted that there are large and interesting differences between the various countries and between the different areas of science and technology. The fall in recruitment has in particular hit the harder parts of science and technology, in particular physics and mathematics. So, in many countries, one also observes a growing gender gap in the choice of science and technology subjects in school as well as the tertiary level. Many countries have had a long period of steady growth in female participation in traditionally male fields of study, but this positive trend seems to be broken in some countries. It is a paradox that this trend is strongest in some of the Nordic countries where gender equity has been a prime educational aim for decades. So the concern about unsatisfactory enrollment is voiced from many interest groups. Industrial leaders are worried about the recruitment of qualified workforce. Universities and research institutions are worried about the recruitment of new researchers. Educational authorities are worried about the already visible lack of qualified science and technology teachers. So, so the educational authorities, when we say educational authorities, these are the peoples or who has in the higher ups in any institutions. So in our country, we are lacking of qualified science and technology teachers, and we all know that because most of the teachers are or the instructors are being designated to this kind of subject, but these are not their expertise or field of expertise. For example, the in for example the teacher is um, for example the teacher is or the teacher or the instructor has a field in Filipino, but since on the other hand, since the line of mathematics or English majors are lacking, adto sila gibutang. So kanang kanang dili tugma sa ilahang linya. So that's why also it's one of the reasons nganong gamay ra pod ang even the teachers or instructors kanang maglisod o teach or tudlo sa mga estudyante. In some countries, the grave situation for the recruitment of new students as well as for the substitution of those who retire has caused great national concern. This concern is often based on comprehensive reviews of the current situation in the education sector and the labor market. So, even di ay sa laing countries or sa ubang nasod, naglisod pod sila og recruit og mga students to enroll in this field, especially in science and technology. And because of low enrollment and the lack of interest of the young people in the science and technology, this has become a great concern or a national concern, because every year there will be a retiree of this field, but there are only few who enrolls in the science and technology sector. So even the labor market or kanang sa mga company, naglisod na pud sila og recruit og mga science and technology graduates or workers to be hired in their company. Kay the evidence for claims about problems in recruitment stems from objective and uncontroversial educational statistics concerning enrollment. Comparative data on such issues are now collected and published by UNESCO, OECD, the EU, and other bodies, and the pupils and the development of common descriptors and criteria facilitate comparisons. Evidence about pupils' achievement, quality, interest stem from many research projects. The main one being the large comparative surveys like TIMSS, the PISA, in which most European countries take part. Similar, da- Similar data from population at large are available from the other forms of service research like the Eurobarometer. Statistical data and most surveys do, however, not shed much statistical data and most surveys do. However, much statistical data and most surveys do. However, they are not shed much light on the underlying causes. Why has science and technology apparently lost its attraction among young people? Unless one has some ideas about these intervention programs to increase the interest in science and technology are not likely to have success. The following points are attempts to suggest explanations about some The following points are some attempts to suggest explanation, although some of claims can be backed up with research evidences. That's all for my topic, and I will give you to the next reporter, Miss Rachel Senas. Thank you.